All right, everyone. Hi, I'm welcoming Steve Faulkner here today from the Yarra Valley. Steve is a viticulturalist from Oakridge Wines and is also responsible for Viticulture Australia. Steve's going to have a chat with us today about his experience living and working in the Yarra Valley with Phylloxera and just examples of some really good learnings that Steve has had dealing with Phylloxera over his career. So thank you, Steve. I'll hand over to you.
Thanks, Sam. Good morning. My name is Steve Faulkner. I'm a viticulturist in the Yarra Valley. I'm here to talk about what it's like living with Phylloxera. I'd like to start with a little small activity. If you have a pen, please get it out and have a look at the ball of the pen. The ball is a similar size to a Phylloxera. That little thing can live up to 28 days without food and water, depending on the conditions. Phylloxera can reproduce sexually and asexually, which means just one of these little critters could start an infestation. We're going to talk about what an infestation looks like, what it's like working with Phylloxera infested vineyards, what are the requirements and my experience and what I would like you to know. Let's start with why we are here. You do not want Phylloxera. First and foremost, your vines decline and die. All that work and resource will be lost. Phylloxera makes everything harder. Phylloxera makes everything more expensive. And you are the only state with Vinehealth Australia. Use this research, look at the website, organise a workshop, and always keep learning. An infestation looks like this. These vines are slowly but surely dying. In this photo, we can see the limited leaf area to store carbohydrates for next season. Combined with the Phylloxera feeding on the roots, these vines are only just holding on. This is the same block later in the season. These decloned Pinot vines are still trying to crop, yet ripening is limited, as well as the fruit being overexposed to the sun. In these blocks, we persevered for several years with low crops and canes with very few leaves, then made the call to pull the vines out. Phylloxera was first found in the Yarra Valley in 2006. These vines were removed in 2020. Fortunately, the Yarra Valley has the G1 genotype, which is slow moving. We self-reported our suspected infestation in 2019. The inspector who found it suggested it had been present for 6 or more years prior. We are already in a Phylloxera inclusion zone with neighbours with declared detections. So why did we report it? It was good to confirm that it was Phylloxera causing the issue, as well as it being the right thing to do. It's really important to report vine decline that could possibly be Phylloxera so it can be checked professionally. The Phylloxera inclusion zone as it grew. When a new infestation is reported, a 5-kilometre zone is placed around it, declaring a Phylloxera inclusion zone. At sea, but there were various parts of the Yarra reporting detections at different times. Most of the region was declared a PIZ in 2020, with further extension in 2023. It did take time for most of the region to be declared a PIZ. The Yarra is a big region, and there was no preparation for a biosecurity outbreak, which is why these simulations you're attending are important. Vinehealth Australia has produced a series of fact sheets based on the Yarra Valley experience, which I suggest you have a look at, and you can find them on the Vinehealth website. Signs on the roadside were used to show the boundaries of PIZ and PEZ, which is a Phylloxera exclusion zone. To move equipment from PIZ past these signs, the equipment needed to be heat treated and have the correct paperwork. This is a Vinehealth declaration form. This is a legal document declaring that the machinery has been heat treated at an approved facility. It states where the machinery has come from and where it is going, as well as who is responsible for cleaning. Only approved people are able to sign off this document as well. The form comes in a duplicate book. This form must accompany the heat the treated equipment, and the duplicate stays on the site of the heat treatment. This is a legal document. Requirements within a Phylloxera inclusion zone. This is what we must do to ensure we are compliant. We pressure wash the machinery, getting as much dirt and debris off as possible. We also vacuum or sweep out the inside of the tractor. We heat treat in an accredited heat room, which is inspected and certified by the DPI, which is the Victorian Department of Primary Industries. The heat treatment is at 50 degrees for 2 hours, according to the latest Vinehealth Australia recommendation. We then must fill out the plant health declaration form and send it with the heat-treated machinery. This is our footbath area. We have one at each site. The bleach is kept in a locked shed to prevent unauthorised access, i.e. the public and kids, because people visit our wineries. We use on-site to check in to our sites. Our site information in on-site provides information about the footbath requirements. Our footbath is the most likely way phylloxera can be spread. So we must clean our shoes and use the footbath every single time before entering our vineyard. We recently had an ASVO field day here in the Yarra. This was where the footbath was set up at Handpicked Wines. When dealing with large groups, multiple footbaths are used, yet we still need to monitor that everyone stands in them for the correct amount of time. You can use Metho or Dettol in the footbaths, but we choose to stick with bleach. We do get some pretty pink patches on our pants and sometimes our socks if we didn't realise our boots had holes. We do have out-of-region visitors who keep a pair of Yarra-only boots on our site. This is our heat room and a contractor's heat room. As you can see, we open the doors and windows on the tractors with the aim to ensure we are heating everything we can properly. The heat room is managed by a computer and we can view a graph to ensure it stayed above 50 degrees for 2 hours. Some heat rooms provide a graph that can be printed off at the end of the treatment. We lock the room during the treatment because if someone opens the door just to have a look what's in there, the temperature drops and the time starts all over again. If there is ever an intention to build your own heat room, I suggest planning for the biggest piece of equipment you may use at any stage in the future. For example, the Oakridge heat room is on the left, and we'll never fit a harvester in there if we ever choose to go down that path. The Oakridge Phylloxera management. We have 6 sites across the Yarra Valley. We have 2 sites confirmed to have phylloxera in the lower Yarra and 4 other sites that we do not wish to have phylloxera. So we treat them to the best of our ability like an exclusion zone. In the Wandin area is the original Oakridge site planted in 1978 and the Thunder and Diamond Vineyard planted in 1990, which produces an iconic Chardonnay. These sites do not have phylloxera and we want to protect them for as long as possible. Hazeldean in Gladdisdale does not have phylloxera, yet there are confirmed infestations just down the road. The Hank Vineyard in Woorolloc is fully planted on rootstock. This vineyard is leased though, so although it's on rootstock, we still heat treat machinery before bringing it onto the site. The Oakridge Vineyard locations. This map shows the Maroondah Phylloxera inclusion zone and the Oakridge Vineyard sites inside it. In most regions, you could just drive the tractor between sites like this, but due to phylloxera, we have lost that ability. Let's have a look at some of the costs involved with moving machinery around the Yarra Valley. This is a quick example of some costs. There are financial implications, and there is just the logistical inconvenience that makes things harder. We do not have our own truck, so we need to book a time and get the machine picked up. It's usually $175 one way on the truck, along with having a person on the site at the time to unlock gates and supervise the loading of the truck. Luckily, we do have our own heat room, as it's $375 per treatment at a contractor's heat room down the road. Then we need to book another truck to come and pick the machine up and take it to the next site. That's another $175. And the approximate cost is $725 per movement, not including staff time cleaning and waiting for trucks. This is not a cheap process, and we do this many, many times per year, every year. We do have some equipment that we can move on a trailer, luckily, and we clean the trailer and the equipment at the same time. And when the equipment's on the trailer, we put the whole thing in the heat room and cook it all. If you think about the different types of machinery you have and what is moved between sites constantly, the number of movements is way more than you realise. We do have a tractor and a sprayer at each site. In our climate, this is essential, yet we cannot have one of everything at each site, so we must share equipment. It's the way we manage Phylloxera here at Oakridge. It's not just about compliance. It's about protecting the industry that employs us. Despite the whole region being a PIZ, we do go above and beyond to protect our own vineyards and any other non-rootstock vineyards in the region. For example, Hank and Hazeldean are 15 kilometres apart. In between these sites, we truck tractors and machinery 30 kilometres back to Oakridge, heat treat that, then truck 30 kilometres back. We educate our labour hire workers. They now truly understand the importance of biosecurity, footbaths, and only parking in the allowed areas. At vintage, all fruit bins are washed and heat treated in between every single pick, and that can really cause issues during compressed vintages. We have also needed more picking buckets at sites before. We have to wash them and then heat treat them when they're needed as well. We heat any equipment moving between any of our vineyards. Got some quotes for some contractor friends of mine here in the Yarra, and these are some direct quotes, uncensored. For those of you that are currently contractors, imagine adding heat treatment to your day. For a contractor, it's effing horrible. Every job results in 5 hours minimum additional work to float, wash, and heat treat. I pay a person $70,000 a year just to wash tractors. The harvester is taken out of action after every pick, which means 1 pick per 12 hours. Another layer of complexity to an already logistically complex job. Not being able to just drive between sites makes everything harder. So it adds just another layer of fun to an already complex job. This is the most important message and possibly the most uncomfortable bit. Be prepared to be that person. Be that person to ask questions of visitors. Yes, it can be uncomfortable. Asking questions, possibly challenging someone. Questioning where they have been is so important if you think they have been to other regions. Be prepared to not allow somebody onto your property if you are not happy with their answers. Don't accept it'll be right, because it won't be all right. An example is I once had a chemical rep come to see me, and I didn't really have time to talk, and they left. I then watched them drive down the road, stop, jump the fence, and start walking through the vineyard. You can imagine how that went down. I was that person that day and have been that person many times since, because I want to protect our vineyards that provide all of us here our livelihoods. Be that person. It's a lot easier than living with a biosecurity outbreak. You are your vineyard's main biosecurity officer. Things that you can do right now that are easy and cheap. And these are also good habits to get into. Wash your machinery between sites. Get as much dirt and vine debris off as possible. Get a foot bath and use it properly. Wear clean clothing and footwear when going to other sites. This is not just for Phylloxera, it's good farm gate hygiene to stop other pests and diseases as well. Key takeaways from my talk today is use the resource of Vinehealth Australia. And again, you are the only state with this industry body. Organise some training with them. Put up appropriate signage around your vineyard. Sign visitors in and out of your property. Get a foot bath and use it a lot. Get educated about phylloxera and other diseases and be paranoid. The cost of a cure is always more than the cost of prevention. Protect your precious vine resources. They are truly unique in the world, and I sincerely hope you can keep South Australia phylloxera free. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Steve. I just thought, given we've got a little bit of time, that maybe it'd be okay if I ask some questions, because I'm sure that the audience will have questions and you're not live there to answer them. So your heat sheds, thanks for showing us those. They're great. What do you know roughly how much they were to construct or build or put in place?
So the most recent heat shed that I heard of being built cost about $80,000.
Thank you. And do you only have one? I think you alluded to the fact that you truck stuff there and then truck stuff back. So you've only got one on one vineyard?
Yes, Oakridge only has one heat shed and it's
Yeah.
attached to the winery, yet there are a couple around the valley that you can book into.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And what do you think? You've shared so much experience today, and thank you. I really enjoyed hearing about how you highlighted that, if you see something, report it as well, which was great. But what do you think, with your experience and what you've lived with and worked in with phylloxera and also in vineyards without it, in the Yarra Valley, and sort of seeing the progression in the Yarra Valley of phylloxera, what do you think your biggest learnings are? Like, what do you think that South Australians should be thinking about now, given we don't have it here in SA?
Don't assume it won't happen to you. I
Mm,
think that's the biggest thing is, and just because it's down the road doesn't mean it might not get to you, because there's many other ways apart from machinery and people that a bug can get spread around. So just be vigilant.
yeah. Thank you, Steve. All right, well, I'm going to end off now. So thank you so much. And I guess the other point is, if anyone's got any questions for Steve that we couldn't answer here today, and we can always take questions and ask Steve for his answers and feed that back. So Steve, again, thank you so much for supporting us and presenting today and really getting that message out there. It's been fantastic to have you as part of it. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Thank you.